Hi guys and girls, my name is Alex and today we're going to do a cemetery walkabout around this local cemetery that I'm currently in. It's a local cemetery that is in my town and it's one of 4 cemeteries in the town, so I thought we were going to do one of them today. Let's get started. So the church, hello, this is a big church, it was built in 1912 and there's 2 entrances to the church. You can enter from there or behind me where we entered. So anyway, let's get started. We'll start with this area, I think. So we have our grave for one of the local factory owners of the city. So Tidaholm had a lot of factories back in the day, and this was one of the owners of them. Very nice, majestic grave, I think. I like the appearance of it. It's beautiful. I like the face in there. It reminiscent of the early graves of the 1920s. Very nice. This is also a very nice grave, I think. But they are, in a book shape. It's, with a page. Also leave it open for someone to be there as well, which is very interesting. I like them. This here is a really painful thing because this means that there's no one who is taking care of this grave and that they're going to remove their grave if no one wants to take over it. In Sweden, graves disappear after having been in use for 25 years unless you renew it. I've done it with 3 of my ancestors' graves, and yeah. Over here we have Carl Wilhelm Anderson and his wife Caroline, and then I assume there's children here. Wow, she didn't live there. Arvid Nathaniel Anderson, he didn't live long. 1885 to 1885. Damn. Must have been a horrible way. Very sad. We have another one, which another sign, what it says. This grave has returned to the cemetery, so it's going to be removed, which is very unfortunate. It's painful for his ancestors' researchers. Anyway, over here you have a really interesting grave. So I think it was, let's say 1875, it was a big factory fire at the match factory here in Tidaholm, and several, I think it was like 40 something women and children were burned inside. They couldn't escape, so they erected this in their memory. I think that's a very nice stone, so could use some restoration to make the text more legible, but yeah, that's where this stone is from. Looks like there's a recent burial here, and there's a temporary cross here in waiting for the gravestone to arrive. Oh, that's a nice grave up down there. A cross. So there's a white star on it. I think it's a very nice one. I can't really decide, but I think it says A.A. Holmberg family grave. I like the star in there. It could signify that he was to America. The star is usually a symbol of Swedish Americans, but I don't know. There's no more info. Seems to be his relatives as well, because they have the same last name and are very close to each other. And then from 1966, in his 70s, and his wife Esther, who lived much longer than he. Yeah. Over here we have some more graves here. So here we have a nice grave here, which if you zoom in here, you see I think it's a Linus Anderson family grave. And I assume these are like his children. Yeah, these are his children. And it's a very interesting grave. It must have been cost a lot back in the day because it has iron fences and all. Over here we have a grave which has a stone fence, I guess you can call it. It belongs to farmer A.J. Tidqvist and his wife Maria Kajsa. And then there I assume their children Reinhold, Helga and Anna. Anna didn't live long, unfortunately. Over here we have another one with a fence, which signifies it's probably a pretty prestigious grave. Ture Pettersson's family grave. It's named after. Yeah. Let's move on. And here we have Alfred Bergqvist family grave, and seems to be still in use, as there is, what's the name of it? Well, there's a plant here. I don't remember the name of the current, but it's like the flowers of a tree. I think it's spruce flowers. Spruce branches, maybe. Anyways, but yeah, it seems to be in use. Very good. And here we have August Boman och hans fru and his wife. And yeah, I think it's their children probably, or some other people that they knew. Let's move down here. And here we have a grave. Looks to be a very nice grave, probably still in use, based on the fact there's a newly burned candle in the lantern. And there's fresh flowers there. So yeah, it looks to be still in use, which I'm very happy about. Let's move on to this grave over here, which seems to be an interesting one. So here we have farmer C.J. Moquist from Belteberge, which seems to be a place, probably a farm name, and his wife Charlotta. And then there's a psalm down there, Rom 4.7. And over here we have Hans Fredrik Åberg, 1831 to 1894, and his wife Emily Åberg, 1833 to 1925. She became quite old, yeah. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of things. We're a small city of around 14,000 people. We have 4 cemeteries. These are some very old graves. We don't even know who's buried in there. We just know that there's people in them, like predating probably all of the graves here. And here we can see one of the nicest graves here, I think, in my opinion. So it's Bertil Johansson and Anna Margareta, which is apparently his wife. Like it. Over here we have a really nice cemetery with Johan Flodin's family grave. Very nice, like the appearance of it. Let's move on up to the next, and then we'll join down for the final row, I think. And here we have another one, which is from Hugo Kron, who seems to be a constable, police constable. And I assume his wife Anna Frank, I think it says. And it's a family grave. It's not very old, she died before him. Anyways, let's turn around and go to the other side. So I'm going to be posting more cemetery videos and history videos. This is one of the 4 cemeteries we have in the main city. I will be paying a visit to all of them, but I was going to do this cemetery since it's the closest to where I live. Yeah, and I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, let's get up and do the final part of a cemetery, nonetheless. You have to excuse me if there's any noises, but there's a lot of cars, and that is in the middle of the city cemetery, so you have to excuse it. Alright, here we have the clockmaker R. Wallin and his wife Charlotta Wallin. Seems to be he died 2 years after her, so it's unfortunate. Here's that. And here we have some smaller graves. 1913, 1974, so I assume that's probably the father, Arthur, and the mother, Linnea, and then the son down there would line up, yeah. And here we have Carl Rudolf Anshelmsson. I've never heard that name before. Oh, it's a child. Oh, that's unfortunate. Very sad. There's a psalm there, 493. Anyways, let's move up here. We have, now the sun is coming closer, but I don't know if you can see it, but it says Carl Granqvist and his wife Johanna Granqvist. Down here we have H.M. Svensson and his wife Linnea, who actually died on the year my dad was born. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, this grave really needs to be cleaned. I can't even see what it says. I can't make out what it says. But we're approaching the 2 major graves of the cemetery. We're approaching some older ones up there. And then we have... it's an organal. It's an organist. Yeah. Very nice grave, I think. It's black. It seems to be in quite good shape. And up here we have a very old grave, made of fences, as you can see. It previously I mentioned it was a big match factory. This guy was the owner of that, and very interesting. But he actually died of food poisoning, which I guess is a sad thing. And he was also recipient of the Royal Vasa Order, and he married Fanny von Zweberg. I probably butchered that. And then you have his children here: General Mayor and General Felt Marshal. 1867 to 1853, Shalmar, and then I presume you have his other children here. Oh, it's probably someone to his wife, yeah. Up there you have the most important cemetery in this pyramid. That's our founders. See this founder there, Hans Henrik von Effen, who founded this city. Well, basically gave it its city privileges. So it's a really important city. He's a really important person in the city, and yeah, he has a statue which I can show you sometime. Then I move up here where we have a grave here for a church grave master. And then as a final grave before we end it for today, we have this grave here, which is a iron cross, which means it's pretty old. And yeah, it's old, 1830. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this cemetery walkabout and that you will join me for my next video. This has been Alex, and very much goodbye.